This is the WJTS News. In the news tonight, threat to Northeast Dubois schools, new business hours for Dubois County Solid Waste Management. Kurt Guxell will be in with sports, and our WJTS Informed segment continues. All to come on WJTS TV News. I'm Jenna Schaffer with the news. A threat to Northeast Dubois schools were made late last night. According to the Northeast Dubois School Corporation, school personnel and law enforcement officers were made aware of a threatening social media post last night. The incident has been investigated and authorities have concluded that the students' actions did not constitute a credible threat to students or staff. The Northeast Dubois School Corporation wants to thank the Dubois County Sheriff's Department for their quick response and professional investigation. The Dubois County Solid Waste Management District's Process Center will try some new business hours next year. Solid Waste District Board members say they want to have Saturday hours for residents that only clean when they have time off. The 2020 budget will have enough funding to keep the center open one Saturday a month between March and October. On these Saturdays, the center would be open from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The Dubois County Council is expected to approve this budget very soon. Preschool is now more accessible for low-income Hoosier families. Indiana lawmakers expanded the state's On My Way PreK program during a 2019 legislative session. The On My Way PreK program is a state-funded program for low-income children. The programs give grants to low-income families to help them cover the costs attending preschool. In addition to this, the state also awarded grants to preschool in counties who are eligible for the program. Pine Ridge Elementary is just one of the schools who received a $5,838 grant. The schools will use the money to help balance out the cost of the preschool expansion that is already underway. In this expansion, the school already covered the costs of renovations to make a third preschool classroom, which was completed in early February. The school will use this grant money to help purchase education resources for the program. This program is administered through the Indiana Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning and applies to all Indiana counties. The goal of these grants is to preschool providers such as Pine Ridge and On My Way PreK grants for families is to offer them with high-quality early learning opportunities to Indiana students. 2019 is the first year that these grants are available to students in every Indiana county. In order to qualify, families must make below 127% of the federal poverty level. The child must be 4 years old either on or before August 1st of the year they will enroll in preschool, and the parents or guardians of the child must be working, going to school, or attending job training. To apply for the program, go to prek.care-finder-in-indiana.org. The Dubois County Security Center is introducing a new video visitation program for inmates, families, and friends. Visitations can now be done on site through kiosks. These are located in the lobby or can be done through a personal computer or phone. To do this, friends and family will need to set up an account through inmatesales.com on their personal devices or can come to the Security Center lobby and set up an account at the kiosks. 20-minute on-site visits are free, and each inmate is allowed 2 per week. Online visits are unlimited during the available time slots and must be paid for through the Inmate Sales website. All visitations must be scheduled at least 1 hour ahead of time. A few issues were brought to light in Ferdinand's Town Council monthly meeting last night. One problem discussed was about overnight camping. Many parks in Ferdinand have had people camping overnight or even a span of a few days. President of the Ferdinand Town Council, Ken Seacard, says he has seen this with his own eyes while attending various tournaments for his grandkids.
I'm seeing more and more campers. Well, that's what we had happen to us this year. People showed up with their campers, which is normally not a bad deal, except they were running their extension cords to the town property and running off of our electricity and, just taking advantage of something that's there. So What we're doing is just trying to reinforce the fact is that you cannot bring a camper in and camp out in our town parks for a couple of nights.
The Parks and Recreation Department also made the Town Council aware of a few setbacks work crews are experiencing in the Old Town Lake project. One issue is the frequent rainfall. Due to the soft soil around the lake, crews are unable to start making the trail.
We have some soft areas. I heard our property superintendent mention that that's where we've pulled up trees. The ground is real soft, mushy, and they can't actually build a trail over that. So what they're going to be doing is digging some of that soft dirt out, putting rock down, and building up from there. So that should help us out immensely there.
Another problem work crews are facing is the footbridge. Officials anticipate that once the water refills, there will be only 2 feet of water. Seacard says as the sun shines on this area, it could cause plants to grow in that area. But they do have some ideas in the works to prevent this from happening. Seacard explains.
They're anticipating that when the water refills, we'd only have maybe 2 feet of water at the most. And with the sun hitting the ground underneath that 2 foot of water, it's going to cause a lot of vegetation to grow. So we've been advised that we could come in and actually drag it out, drag some of the dirt out, which we could then sell or reuse ourselves. And that would then give us probably 4 feet of difference underneath the bridge and no vegetation problems.
And these were just 2 of the main items brought to the Town Council's attention at last night's meeting. The Council also approved to close down Maryland Street between 8th and 10th Street from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Sunday for Christ the King Parish's car show. And with some trees and limbs getting knocked down by yesterday's storms, the Council wanted to remind Ferdinand residents about rules to follow for collections for yard waste and tree limb removal. You can get more information about this program by calling the Property and Street Department at 812-367-2282. Towards the end of the meeting, the Council approved the burn permits for the American Legion barbecues held throughout the year. The 2020 budget hearing will be held on Tuesday, September 17th, and the Town Council meeting is set for 7:30 p.m. at Town Hall. Northeast Dubois School Board met last night for their monthly meeting. The meeting started out with an approval of vouchers 94880 through 95048. After this, the regular meeting was closed and a budget hearing was opened. During the budget hearing, it was noted that the 2020 budget that was advertised on July 29th of 2018. This budget included the capital projects and bus replacement funds in Gateway and on the corporation's webpage. No public comment was made. It was after this that the budget hearing was closed and the initial hearing for the teacher compensation was opened. A public testimony was taken during the hearing pursuant to Indiana Code 2029-61A regarding teacher compensation and collective bargaining. No public comment was made. It was after this that the teacher compensation hearing was closed and the regular meeting was reopened. Following the hearings, the Teacher Appreciation Grant policy was approved as in done yearly despite having no changes. Other approvals were a field trip for the boys tennis team to travel to participate in a tournament at Evansville North High School, as well as giving the maintenance department a clothing allowance and several hires throughout the school district. NEOLA policies were updated and also needed to be approved. The final item that was approved was an updated mileage reimbursement policy. If a staff member travels between buildings or for the classroom student purposes, those should refer to federal guidelines. If a staff member attends a workshop or conference, they should use a corporation vehicle. If for some reason a vehicle is not available and they use a personal vehicle, they will be reimbursed at the federal guideline level. If a staff member willingly uses a personal vehicle, they will be reimbursed 50%. One late item was addressed. It was approved that the high school pool that is in need of maintenance be fixed by Chester Pools, the company that originally put in the pool in the 1970s. The first annual Women in Business Awards are coming up, and the deadline to nominate a woman in business for an award is arriving fast. Categories to nominate women in business include entrepreneur and small business, government, education, industry, ag, health, nonprofit, and financial services. The deadline to nominate a woman in these categories is Monday, August 26th. You can send your nominee information to P.O. Box 471 in Washington or text 812-254-0480. The Women in Business Celebration event will take place Thursday, October 3rd from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Washington Community Building in the Eastside Park. Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch will be a guest speaker for this event. Stay tuned. Weather, sports, and our WJTS Informed segment are coming up next on 18 WJTS.